Hello Factorio people, welcome back to the broadcast from Space Age XL, where we're going to build a mega base. We are building, technically everything we're doing is apropos building a mega base. Hope you're all doing alright. My nose is still very blocked, so I'm going to sound out of breath, because talking and speaking and not breathing, they don't really go hand in hand. Anyway, thank you so much for all the support on the videos. Really appreciate it. If you want to do the old like, comment, subscribe, fill me on this one, that would be great. And without further ado, we will jump straight into it, shall we? Thank you. This was our last little project. A little automated biter egg farm. These are natural organic biters, as you can probably tell. They're not... We haven't been to Aquila yet, so we can't make our own biter spawners. So these are naturally occurring on the map up here. It's not 100% foolproof, but it's good enough for now. We'll sort something out. I also just quickly implemented a little landfill farm here. Because you never know when we're going to need it, right? Like, this lake is getting a bit... If we want to expand the grid any more to the east, this lake is in the way. Same with this one, same with this one. And now we've got big mining drills, we can do quite a lot of stone mining. So this is for 40 million, but we're on 160% productivity plus 50% resource drain. This should last a very, very long time. Right. Science is going okay, but science will not go okay forever because we're just running on a backlog of space science from the original space science platform, which only makes 90 a minute. So as soon as we're through that backlog, we're going to have a bit of trouble. So I've just waited for 1,000 space platforms to arrive up here so that we can expand this quickly and easily. Obviously we're aiming towards 1,000 a minute for now on all of the sciences. We're not quite there yet with the Nalvesian sciences, but we are a decent way there, with plenty of room for expansion. In theory, plenty of room for expansion. We are on about 550 science per minute, effective science per minute, I believe we're calling it now. That's what we've decided. Alright, so space science is on the docket today. Quality farming is... We're going to start some quality farming today, and we're also going to go to Vulcanus today and set up... Get rid of this horrendous bootstrapped metallurgic science, because this also is not doing very well. We can do better here as well. Alright, that's the docket today. Let's go. Space science. This makes 400 a minute. But there'll be plenty of room here to add more space science, more beacons and modules and stuff. I just thought I'd just... 400 is fine. We'll keep it in line with the Nalvesian sciences for now. And then once we get the other interplanetary sciences... The thing with the interplanetary sciences, right, is... Really, I should have done this the other way around. I really should have done these Nalvesian sciences 1,000 per minute. And the interplanetary sciences less. Because... It's quite uncommon for you to use all of them at once until you get to... You know, for the Aquila ones you have to use them. But then even the infinite Aquila ones don't use all of them. So like, for example, railgun shooting speed does not use Gleben science or metallurgic science from Vulcanus. Or even purple science. So... You could sort of let those science packs build up while you're doing this one, and the same with this one, right? This doesn't use any of them, this only uses Aquila, so all of the other ones will back up while you're doing this. So really, I should have made the Nalvesian ones higher, because they're the ones constantly being used, even though that's not true either, really. Like, this doesn't use yellow, this doesn't use military, this doesn't use purple. It's weird, it's complicated. I've kind of gotten around that at the moment by just storing all of the yellow science. Yellow is the only one I've not upgraded here last time because it was not an important one in terms of what we wanted to do as farm, mining productivity and steel plate productivity. And also this one, you know, like the important infinite ones, plastic, rocket fuel, processing units, these don't use yellow science either. So I wasn't too fussed about it. Low density structures is going to be an important one, of course, for the LDS shuffle. Right, so the space platform, it's nothing, you know, it's obvious. It's just, I could have built it like this from day one, really. No productivity modules, nothing fancy, just some power and some reprocessing of any asteroid that's not that we have too many of on the belt. Eventually I probably will have to put in a system to throw excess asteroids off the edge, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. And then to get this to really higher numbers, we'll have to also make this actually fly between planets, because the number of asteroids that we get is not loads in a stationary platform like this. If we send it to and from, even just Vulcanus should be fine. We could get a lot more, but we don't need a lot more right now. So, I'm on Fulgora because I want to do some quality stuff. This island here is what I've elected to use to we're just going to set up a quick quality module farm just to leave that ticking over while we go and do other things. And I'm going to start with quality module 2s because quality module 2s in higher quality, even an uncommon one, is better than a common quality module 3, and I don't really want to be bothered with setting up superconductor quality cycling just yet. I just want to get red, green and blue circuits done on this small island, and then we'll use like a bigger island. Like this is not a lot of scrap, but there might be something here, or we can just build a train. We can come back later and build a train and scale this up once we've got all the quality 2s. Because if we get a whole bunch of epic quality 2s, then we can just get epic advanced circuits, epic processing units and epic superconductors and make these in the normal way rather than the upcycling way. Alright, so let's start with that. This was my start for 10 here. This patch is 400,000, but with the mining productivity and the big mining drills, this will last a decent amount of time. Not forever, of course, but a decent amount of time. Scrap everything that's not a red circuit or a blue circuit. And then also pick up the gear wheels, turn those into iron plates, pick up the copper cables, turn those iron plates and copper cables into green circuits. We will eventually get green circuits on here as well, so we should also add somewhere to pick green circuits up, because once the blue circuits gets full, blue circuits will be recycled, and then we'll get green circuits come out as well. So we can also do it like that, but this was just my starter idea really, just to sort of see how viable this was. You know, cycling, scrap in, recycle everything, and then refeed the outputs of that recycling back into the system, just to see if this would give you enough red and blue circuits and green circuits to just start making quality modules, because these are relatively cheap. So like this whole thing, if we just assume it's processing scrap, which isn't entirely correct, but let's just assume that it is 64 of them. Let's find one that's processing scrap quickly. Find one that's processing scrap quickly. I can't see. This one. 64 of these. 5 red circuits, 3 blue circuits a second, and then, you know, more than enough copper cable and iron gear wheels to make some green circuits. So it should be fine. This is the system I want to use. I think I vaguely mentioned this in my old series, that I think in Fulgora you kind of need to not fall into that trap of trying to use everything in every stage. If you're just going to make a quality module farm, then make this a quality module farm and just scrap everything else that doesn't help you do that. It's very difficult to do that, of course, as a human being and as a Factorio player. It's very difficult to actually look at all this, look at some of the holmium going in the recyclers and go, oh, maybe I'll just, you know, keep the holmium, maybe. And oh, look at all these gear wheels, I could make loads of blue belts here, you know, like it's very... But the other way to do it, which is something I do want to experiment with in this playthrough, is to have the exact opposite of that, and have scrap processing keep everything, like in this system, and then have trains, basically. Like, I've forgotten to open my drawing on the screen thing. Where is it? This one. Is this working? Yes. If I have centralized scrap processing, so like here, for example, use this with a train here, and then just have stations for basically everything. Scrap the excess, like we're doing here anyway, and then have these trains, so like an input and an output or something, and then have like a quality module farm here, and then this delivers red circuits, green circuits, blue circuits, plastic, copper, whatever we need for superconductors, and then say this one over here is rocket launchers and deliver processing units, low density structures, solid fuel, or even the rocket fuel, you know, and just say that like this island is going to process the solid fuel and make rocket fuel. Sorry, I completely forgot what I was trying to say there. Those are the two viable ways of doing it, of course, where you have, so you either have this you either pair these islands up, right, and you say this one is my rocket silo island, so all of this scrap goes here, and anything that is not a rocket silo ingredient goes in the bin. Or you centralize your scrap production, which, I mean, this nice big island might be pretty good for that, you know. You have a centralized scrap processing hub that keeps absolutely everything. At least it keeps all of your base scrap ingredients, and then throws everything else in the bin. And then this is your centralized hub, and you use this as sort of like as a depot for anything that comes from scrap. And then if you want to, like as I just explained, if you want to make rocket silos, you just deliver those things on trains to that place, and so on and so forth. And then if you need to plug more scrap in, then you do that. That's definitely what I want to try with this. Definitely want to try that. I think that would be very fun and interesting. I don't think I want every one of my islands to just be like this, scrap everything that's not circuit, scrap everything that's not rocket fuel, you know, like I think that's not as exciting. And it's an easier logistical challenge as well, I feel like throwing it in a recycler is a touch easy and boring. Coming from someone who thinks Gleba is the most fun planet. Again, I'm not telling you if that's sarcasm or not. I mean, I'm not there yet. Not there yet. Alright. That's enough waffling on about Factorio theory. Let's move on, shall we? Simple enough. Make the modules. Make the Mark II modules. Scrap the modules. Oh, this is me trying to faff around with working out how to send a signal for scrapping. So like this requester chest has a request 10 quality module 2 symbol request, because this inserter is if there's more than 50, then you can send a request for 10 to be scrapped. And it kind of works, but it falls by the wayside because of... I was umming and ahhing about this for a long time, right? Let's just jump straight into the testing one. Let's just jump straight into it. Back on now these. It's one tick so that everything has power. I was umming and ahhing for a long time about whether it's better to build tier 1s and then with no quality, and then use those as ingredients for tier 2s with quality, right? That's one way you could do it. And then what you're doing here is you're just trying to roll for higher quality tier 2 modules. You could also do it like this, where you make tier 1s, well, this is the next iteration of that basically. You make tier 1s, tier 2s, and then you also scrap any tier 2 that is not of a... And this is these two are basically the same, but this one is just scrapping, recycling, I should say, any module that's not of a tier that you want to keep. So let's say we don't want to keep the common ones and the uncommon ones. And then down here is the same of that, but with quality 3s instead. So it's exactly the same. It's just this is enough quality. This is enough quality 1s to feed these 4 assemblers, and then those 9 assemblers are enough to feed these. Basically, by like 0.0666 repeating, of course, of a tier 1 module. And then this is what you would need to do that if you also then scrapped quality module 3s of qualities that you don't want. In this case, common and uncommon. What definitely doesn't work from my testing is also putting quality in these and scrapping these ones. Scrapping these that don't go for the quality that you want. Because then you also have to have... You still then have to have this, but this takes such... It splits up all of your red and green circuits that you get, right? So you may scrap a tier 2 quality module, and that gets you a few higher quality red circuits, but then those red circuits just get distributed willy-nilly, right? They just go somewhere. They may go into the tier 1 thing, they may go into the tier 2 one. There's no way to know. So, oops, that's the wrong speed. So I left this running for a little while. These two are functionally the same, of course. All this one is doing that this one isn't is just scrapping the lower quality ones. But the lower quality ones do have some value. So really, in an ideal world, I think what you would do is you would start with this and then you would transition to this one. Because what you can do with this is just upgrade each of the modules as you get a box of them. So as you get 50 quality module Mark IIs with that ever so slightly higher bit of quality, you can then upgrade them all to that tier, and then to the next tier, and then to the next tier, and then once you get some... And this isn't like... This version is not extremely better, you know, like... It's not like this is night and day. So like this is rolled 2 epic, this is also rolled 2 epic, this is rolled 5. You're more likely to get the... In my experience, you're more likely to get the rare ones, because you are scrapping uncommon ones, right? So this is a good way of getting rare ones. But it's... Whoa, a legendary! It took me ages to get a single legendary when I was doing testing with this before. I think I sat here for 20 minutes at 64 times speed and I didn't get a single one. You know, 2, 4... This has only done 1 rare, but obviously the other side of this is that there's now 39 uncommon ones here, which this system would have scrapped and turned some of them, but not all of them, some of them, a quarter of them, basically, into rare ones. And then down here, just exactly the same, but with tier 3s instead. You just keep the tier 3s that you've got. And as you can see, this is already made 280 tier 3s, 28 uncommon tier 3s. So just really, it depends on whether you want to scrap this, because this is 3.2% quality. You're sort of throwing away 0.7% quality to sometimes get more rare ones. But, like, objectively, this is better, right? Objectively. If you want quality modules, you really don't need to worry about rare, common and uncommon. Like, they can just go in the bin. And this will take you slightly longer, but you will get many more rares out of it. This has gotten 2 epics now, this has gotten 6. This has gotten 26 rares, this one's still only gotten 4. But it's got 75 uncommons. So you could use those 75 uncommons. You know, anyway. I just wanted to see this with my own eyes. Like, even as I was halfway through building it, I was like, well, obviously this is going to be better, right? Like, obviously. Because this is just scrapping the stuff from here that you don't want. But there is some value in this design. 1, it's a smaller footprint. 2, it doesn't use the recyclers. 3, you do get to at least keep the quality modules, right? You may have some use for these. Maybe. So, yeah, that was interesting. That was an interesting hour of my life. Okay, let's go to the final iteration of the quality farm then. So yes, we'll do it like this. And we'll just fill these with uncommon Mark IIs, and then as soon as we've got some uncommon, some rare Mark IIs, we'll just say make these all rare, and then once we get some epics, we'll say make them all epic, and then we'll have a stockpile of epic 2 modules, Mark II and rare modules that we can use for making the tier 3s once I can be bothered to do something with superconductors. And the reason I'm not doing superconductors here is because this island is not very big. Even this many accumulators is just about enough. And making superconductors here is a pain. We need the copper. We need to recycle the copper cable. Sorry, my brain failed there for a moment. We need to get plastic from somewhere, which would mean recycling blues and red circuits into plastic, blues into reds, reds into plastic, and then the reds on their own into plastic. We'd have to do holmium, we'd have to do light oil. I'm not doing that on this island. I'll do a completely separate island for superconductors, and I'll just like use Spidertrons as fancy logistics robots, you know. I'll just say pick up 200,000 superconductors from here, send my Spidertrons over here, get the logistics bots to take them out. We'll just do that like once every hour or so while we're playing. Don't tell anyone I do that. That's not how you should play Factorio. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone. Okay, right. This video is already 23 minutes and this is like barely done anything. But still, yes, quality modules. Good. This is what we'll start with. This is what we'll start with. Right. I'd like to go to Vulcanus, please. And I want this to go to be not the solar panels. I want this to go and to be replaced by better, more interesting things. So let's go and do that. Right, while we're on our way to Vulcanus, let's just have a quick check-in on how the biter egg farming is going. It's going very well. 800 overgrowth jelly nut soil and 1,800 overgrowth Yamako soil. Yamako soil goes anywhere in the yellow biome, so this is very, very nice. I'm glad that I decided to do this now and not wait until I could farm biter eggs from artificial biter spawners, and we did this on Nalvis. I'm glad I did this. No disasters as yet. I will come back to this because I do iterate on this design a bit more, but so I won't belabor this. This is slightly different from when we left it in the last episode, but it does change again. So it's belts now, for example. I don't know if you noticed that, it's belts. But I do change it. Right, are we there yet? Are we there yet? No, we're not there yet. We've only just passed Nalvis. For God's sake. Let's just turn off the limiter, shall we? How fast can we go? How fast does a ship go if we turn the limiter off? 200? Is it going to get to 200? No. 180. That's not bad. Alright, okay. So on Vulcanus, obviously we would need to keep the greenbelt production. That's very, very important. The only other things we need on Vulcanus are the science, foundries, big mining drills. Everything else is pretty superfluous here for now. So all of this effort I made to make plastic, to make red circuits, was so irrelevant. Like, I'm really annoyed. Like, red circuits go into blue splitters and that's it. So why I don't just take the red circuits off here, you know? There we go. So we'll sort this out. We'll have a big old tear down and we'll sort this out, shall we? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Oh my god. Oh, we did it 200! How did that happen? I turned my back for 5 seconds and suddenly you get 20 extra kilometers a second from somewhere. It's not fuel, it's not water. Dunno. Alright, let's go. Well, I was going to change scenes, but we'll watch the landing animation. There we go, that's nice. Yes, get rid of it, get rid of it. Who cares? What's it doing? Nothing. Power. It's doing a lot of power, but we can sort that out. Metallurgic science is, of course, very simple. It's tungsten carbide and tungsten plates. Tungsten plate is just molten iron and tungsten ore. Tungsten carbide is just carbon, sulfuric acid. This comes out of the ground. Carbon comes out of the ground, basically, because it's just coal and sulfuric acid, and we've got this nice big 6.3 million patch here. This is also very nice. 53 million, no lava in the way. We can go and get this at some point as well. I thought that was a coal patch. It's not. It's just a dark spot on the radar. 71 million, but this is slightly harder to get in, but we've got trains as well now. Let's not forget we've got trains. It's just we didn't have elevated rails. Or something. No, we did have elevated rails. I just couldn't be bothered to use them. So we'll start on 1,000 science per minute here for the metallurgic science, just so that once we've got it, right? We can at least say we've hit 1,000 science per minute on that one. But it's very important that we also make enough to keep the belts flowing, because obviously we want green belts everywhere. I should turn my roboport off because it's going to be a disaster. And yeah, we also want to make sure that we've still got a supply of big mining drills and foundries. We don't want to forget that. But the stupid red circuits, green circuits, batteries, solar panels, what was I thinking? What was I thinking? Alright, we'll let the robots finish this and then we'll get to work. This should not be too prohibitively expensive. This will make us 1,131 science per minute. Which needs this much tungsten. Slightly less tungsten here, but we don't need... It's basically there, and this is overproducing, so it's fine. A lot of molten copper. A lot of molten copper. Some molten iron, and some stuff. I'm still going to bring in this tungsten ore. I'm not too concerned about this running out anytime soon. Especially because it's quite easy for us to just keep research. Why has science stopped? Fulgora's stopped. Seems to be a bit of a scrap backlog. Oh yes, that's right, I remember. I cannibalised the speed modules out of this for the scrap on the quality module thing. And I didn't realise that this whole system was quite reliant on the fact that it needed this many recyclers running this fast. So as such, there was quite a deficit of things because all of the scrap was backed up. Anyway. What the hell was I talking about? 1,000 science per minute, yeah, that's right. Mining productivity, yes. So, yeah, because we can do mining productivity fairly quickly. Now, we're already up to 19. I'm not too worried about mining patches running out, but eventually the throughput may need to go up. But once we've got this all sorted out, we can take these green belts and make this green belts instead. This will be a lot of green belts, of course. Of course it will be. So, in fact, so many they don't even fit on the screen. Ah, it's only 2,000. It's not that many. It's not. It's a nice place to be, isn't it? When 2,000 green belts is quote unquote not that many green belts. So for this, we need to get tungsten carbide. The triangles in. We need molten iron and molten copper. But then once we've got that, this needs carbon. Tungsten ore comes in for free. Sulfuric acid comes in for free. So really, that's it. Really, it's not too taxing at all. There we go. So this nice little build here. If you get your Assembler Mark IIIs up to 2.75 and your chemical plants up to 2.8 crafting speed, they are perfectly, almost perfectly ratioed. 0.05 per second more carbon, which is what you want. You want it to be more. And this is belt weaving. So yeah, you feel free to thumbs down the video, unsubscribe, send me hate mail. You know, this is belt weaving. Does this need less than half a belt? Did I check that? Pretty sure I did. Yeah, less than half a blue belt, so definitely less than half a green belt. I could also use stack inserters if I wanted to. So yes, that's the tungsten carbide. Tungsten carbide comes in here. And then we'll send the excess off here to be stored for this whole process. A fluid is low. Oh yes, of course. Still experimenting with exactly how much molten copper I need and what I'm going to do with it. Currently I'm turning it... Is that... Why isn't this working? There's no lava, that's right. I'm still only on one lava pump. I haven't worked this out yet. That I need like at least 5 of these. We will need a small amount of... electric mining drills are easy enough with what we've got. It's electric engine units is a bit annoying, but we will still need a small supply of electric engine units to make the big mining drills, and also a small supply of refined concrete to make the foundries. But we can do that. We can plug that in just to make sure that we're definitely getting everything that we need. Yeah. So then this whole thing is very, very much correct. Minus 0.08 tungsten plate a second, and even that is only... This is way, not way overscaled, but you know, it's 1.1000, so it is still a bit much, but then you have it, right? It's better to have it than not have it. Okay, let's sort a few more things out. If we're going to make refined concrete, we need to defer when this landfill happens. Or maybe we make it down here instead, because there's the molten iron is already here. Ah, there's molten iron here. Can't remember what I did. No, I make it down here because you need a bit of water, don't you, for the concrete? You need a bit of water, so defer the landfill from this molten section. Turn that into bricks, turn those bricks into concrete, turn that concrete into refined concrete, and turn that refined concrete into foundries. And then any excess stone turns into landfill, and then that goes in the lava. So then now this is fine, this is all working. This is 168,000 molten copper per minute with a few modules, no productivity, not really, don't really see the point. at the moment. Lava's out of the ground for free. It uses such a small amount of calcite. I'm not really worried about making this process more productive, at least for now. This little build here makes electric engine units. Probably way too many electric engine units, right? Like 30 a minute. And you only need, well, you need 10 to make a big mining drill. So 3 big mining drills a minute. 4.5 big mining drills a minute because of the foundry's productivity bonus. So that's fine. We can just let that. We could just let that go. And then the same with the foundries. Thankfully everything for the foundries is in the system already. All we need to do for the belts then is just put green circuits and red circuits in a box at the end of the bus. So I just extended the bus across. And then I thought, you know, while I was here, let's make 8,000 in storage, 400 undergrounds, and I doubled the storage, basically, of the green belts. Oh, and lubricant, of course. What a pain in the arse. No, the lubricant's fine. You just turn... I just done the simple coal liquefaction, just so that... Because it's just coal and calcite, right? And sulfuric acid turns into heavy oil. And then heavy oil turns into lubricant for nothing. It doesn't even need water. And then I'll just put that in tanks so that... Yes, this uses a hell of a lot of lubricant if it needs to run full speed. 48,000 a minute. But in theory, a lot of the time it will be sat here doing nothing. You know, only when one of the big frigates comes and says, I need 2,000 belts, please. And even then, it can only fit 50 in a rocket at a time, so it'll probably make more at the same speed that the rockets get full. But, Alright, cool. Now, artillery shell range is being researched. Seeing as we are making a lot of metallurgic signs now, I have been sending that back to Nauvis. To research artillery shell range. And everyone knows, if you don't know, have I changed this yet? I have. I'll talk about that in a minute. Everyone knows the best part is when you have artillery shell range upgrade happen, and suddenly these biter nests that weren't in range before suddenly get in range. We know this to be true and fun and exciting. Alright, let's quickly explain this while this is ticking up. Hopefully this will all line up. So this is an idea I got courtesy of a commenter on the channel, and I will just quickly double check their name. I should have double checked their name before. They told me their system for Gleben science in the Gleber episode, Almog Gol. I put all my Gleber science into a steel chest directly inserting into a rocket silo. I hook the inserter to the circuit of the silo, telling it to only work when there is a request. I set the inserter to pick up fresh first for the longest use time. Whenever the chest goes over a set limit, I use a second inserter to dump the oldest science packs into a recycler. I consider this to date to be my magnum opus in this game. It's very clever. It was so clever I said, I really like this, I might steal it. And I have stolen it. So thank you so much. But I've stolen it for the biter eggs. So these inserters will not take eggs out of the nests. I need a method for spoilage. Rats. It's fine, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Which is now, admittedly. These eggs won't come out of the nest until there is a request for biter eggs. So, currently we don't have that because we have run out of seeds on Gleber, but if we send this shit back to Nauvis... so there are no eggs in storage if there is not a request for eggs. But because you can store up to 100 eggs that don't spoil in the nest, as soon as the ship arrives, all of the eggs will come out, right? And they'll all be completely 100% fresh, half an hour of spoil time, ready to go to Gleber. The rocket should be ready with 2 rocket loads. When the rocket leaves, and there is no longer a request, these inserters will work and take these eggs out to be burnt to be thrown in the heating tower to ensure that there are never any eggs lying around, or like an egg that has been ticking down here just stays in here and has a 5-minute timer on it, somehow makes its way into the rocket, ends up on the ship, ends up in Gleba and hatching. Even if that does happen, it's not really the end of the world. Like, the eggs, the biters that come from these eggs are not particularly strong, so a few laser turrets or Tesla towers does not really cause a problem, but let's go belts and braces with it, shall we? And then also, these inserters remove any eggs from a rocket that ends up having eggs launched into it, but then is not needed, which can happen as the second rocket is ready. There we go. Just as artillery range is going to go as well. So a rocket is nearby, it's requesting eggs. This is fairly fast. This also removes the logistics bots from this area, which means that we don't get logistics bots sort of turn up and try and take eggs to like these rocket silos down here, which was really annoying because I've got one big logistics network. Artillery shell range is about to go, everybody. There he goes. God, I need one more level, don't I, of artillery shell damage to get these done in one go. 64,000! Whoa! How does it know they're there? It can see further than I've explored on the planet. Neat. This isn't even that many artillery shells, is it? Oh, this will be so much better when I can destroy these in one artillery shell rather than two, but still. Yeah. Oh yeah, I had like literally 5% health left. That's crazy. And then the robots will deliver another wave. Alright, cool. So then, I mean, we missed this because the ship is going back, but you can see there's no eggs anywhere now. It did manage to clear all the spoilage as well, so actually this is fine. Did I know that? Or was that just very lucky? Let's go with that was always part of the plan, and that actually worked very, very well. This made me realise I'd really like a way for an inserter to always do one thing. Actually, I could do that, couldn't I? Could have two constant combinator, one constant combinator with a filter. Yeah, I can do that. I can do that, right? Oh, yeah, I mean, a wave of behemoth spitters is not to be trifled with, but it's still very easily... It's very, very easily dealt with. Uh-oh. Oh no, this is fine, because they get funneled through this cliff into this choke point. It's only if they, like, arrive in a line, and suddenly there's, like, a line of 50 here that just suddenly start attacking all in perfect unison. This is not a problem at all. Because they just get choke point. Just get through the choke point, because they can't navigate the cliff through the cliff and through the forest very well. Cliffs are good, turns out. Cliffs are good. What was I talking about? Right, yeah, no, I can set this right. I get a constant combinator, and I tell this to always do spoilage. Like, I always want this to do spoilage as a signal. And then I just hook that up to the inserter as well. And then now the inserter's getting it's getting one signal for always spoilage. Oh no, because I've set this to enable disable. I need to change this to set filters rather than enable disable. Yeah, so I need this to only not send a signal for a tick to work. I need to make this send a signal for eggs as a filter. Ah, no, I can do both, actually. I can do both. So it will get one signal for the filter and then... But does that not mean it's going to get a tick as a filter? But then does that matter? It's not going to care, is it? And it's not going to break the game by having a non-item entity as a filter. It just won't do anything. Yeah, okay, cool. Even though it did end up working anyway. Right. So that was a pretty successful day in the factory, as far as I'm concerned. Loads of science, loads of quality modules sorted, in theory. Yeah, 15 epics. This is still the old system. I hadn't done my testing at this point yet. I lied to you before. It was an editing trick. I'm sorry, I lied to you before. I do end up changing this after my testing. It's just I did the testing later in the day, so I haven't realised that this is not as good yet. And I did keep the holmium because, you know, I'm stupid idiot, man. Gotta keep the holmium. So all I've done for this is just put a filter on holmium or on anything that goes into a recycler and just pick it up at the end. I can't. I'm sorry, I can't have the holmium get scrapped. It just doesn't sit well with me. Yeah, pretty productive day in the factory. Pretty productive day. I can't think what we'll do next time. Maybe we'll go to Aquilo next time. I don't know. Maybe. How's the landfill going? Loads of it. 187,000 landfill, which sounds like a lot, doesn't it? It does sound like a lot. Used to be able to select water tiles. Was that with the landfill mod? Can't remember. Yeah, it does sound like a lot of landfill, but that'll quickly dry up. Pun not intended. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please let me know with a like or a comment, and if you want to see more broadcasts from Space Age, be sure to subscribe. These bad boys are still going. Other than that, thank you so much. Yes, again, a big shout out to Almog Gol. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name properly. You know what the internet's like. For your idea with the spoilage control system. Works really, really well. Really like it. Thank you. So it does insert more eggs into the next ship, right? Because if there's a request. So there is still a request. This one's going to go. Sorry, I know I've done the outro, but I'm going to keep talking. There is still a request, because this asks for 1,000 eggs. But then... I was finding this chest had a few eggs in it. These inserters are just always loading eggs. Or if there's a request. Sometimes some eggs linger in the silo for no reason. So they need to be recycled. And then once the demand is satisfied, these inserters stop taking out eggs from the nests, and then any eggs that do somehow remain in these chests just get burnt off. And yes, I am bringing rocket parts all the way from down here with robots. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. You can't do anything. Alright, take it easy. If you're in the UK, it's a bank holiday weekend. So enjoy the rest of your bank holiday. Sunday's episode this is, isn't it? Yes. And yeah, I will see you next time. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.